Call the meeting to order. Oh,
Yes, please.
Good evening, Westbury family. Welcome to the Board of Education annual budget hearing. We will now say the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Vice President Floyd Ewing.
good evening, Westbury family. We are here for our annual budget hearing. The budget hearing does not require a quorum of the board, and unfortunately, some of our board members could not make it here tonight, although they fully support the presentation that you will receive thus far. At this time, I'm going to turn over the presentation to Dr. Tahira Chase, and she will provide us with the budget hearing. Thank you.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education, the administrators on the dais, our community who's here, and those who are here in the audience. We welcome you to our 2024-2025 budget hearing. I will ask my cabinet to please join me as we provide information about our proposed budget. Thank you. Good evening once again. And again, we thank you for your attention this evening as we present the budget hearing for the 2024-2025 school year. This budget has a focus on preparing today three things that are required of a school district to prepare our beautiful scholars for tomorrow's challenges and tomorrow's opportunities. First, it requires innovation. And by innovation, meaning that we have to provide lessons, we have to provide opportunities for our students to engage in innovative projects, focusing heavily on STEAM. And I just want to remind the community the importance of STEAM and what it means. While the rest of the world uses STEM, Westbury School District acknowledges the art because the art does spark creativity, critical thinking. Therefore, we are a STEAM-focused school district, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, which is part of our innovation. Project-based learning, where our scholars are allowed to demonstrate what it is that they are able to do, demonstrate what it is that they know using multiple pathways. And it also requires well-trained educators and administrators. Training our educators and our administrators in our core programs as well as some of our innovative programs only enhances teaching and instruction. Want to do the executive summary? Okay. As part of the executive summary, which is really a summary of the entire budget and what we are very proud of, is that it freezes taxes at the current level. I'd like to acknowledge my Board of Education. 3 years in a row, they have exercised diligence as well as stewardship in terms of ensuring that our taxpayers are not burdened. Although we continue to grow and thrive at the Westbury Union Free School District, we have not asked our taxpayers to provide any additional funding. Our taxes have been lowered by 5% over the last 5 years. This Board of Education has given back $2 million multiple years consecutively to our taxpayers. This budget required us to be creative, required us to be innovative, required us to think out of the box. Because although we continue to not ask our community for additional funding, we continue to enhance our academic programs. We are so proud that we are an authorized International Baccalaureate School District, offering the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program for our high school students, and Mr. Brendan Gallivan will speak more about that later in the presentation. We are super excited about the opportunity to become a professional learning community model school, and our Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Roger Bloom, will speak more about our progress and the work that we're doing to enhance teaching and learning. Saturday Wins Academy. We'll talk more about that during the presentation, but we are able to maintain the Saturday Wins Academy. As you all have heard previously, the Saturday Wins Academy, WINS is an acronym for What I Need on Saturday. Is one of our signature programs that was once upon a time paid out of our, what we used to call COVID money, our ESSER funds. We were able to continue and maintain that program and even restructure the program to make it more attractive for our scholars using general funds, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. The STRIVE program is also one of our signature programs where we will provide instruction to our students who are out of district placement by bringing them back to provide the best possible instruction for these scholars as well as to provide the support that they need. This budget also will demonstrate that we have a continued focus on enhancing our facilities. In fact, over $3 million has been allocated for facilities projects, which we will delve into a little bit later. And again, we just want to share with the community that our financial stewardship, I believe, has been exceptional. Moody's bond rating of an AA2. Ms. O'Neill.
Thank you, Dr. Chase. As Dr. Chase mentioned, school tax relief. We have a 0% increase in our tax levy in the 24-25 school year budget. And I would like to point out, we did have 3 years ago, the governor committed to fully funding the foundation aid of the district, and the Board of Education committed to returning some of those funds to the community and provide tax relief. And the board has done that. In addition to doing that, they were able to next year keep the level current, so there is no increase in the tax levy. Dr. Chase, you mentioned that over the last few years we've seen some decreases. So over the last 3 years, there's been $4.4 million given back to the community in the form of tax relief, as well as the current school year. This levy the tax levy on this budget is still 2.5% less than what the tax levy was in 1920, and over the last 3 years has been a 5.3% reduction in the tax levy. Enhancing instructional programs.
So now we will talk about how this budget continued to enhance instructional programs, and although we were innovative and we were very creative in devising the budget, we did not take away from what it is that we're doing in our classrooms. So, Mr. Gallivan, why don't you talk to us about IB?
So very pleased to make a few announcements. First of all, that, of course, just like our vision and mission statement is a statement of values, so is our budget. And we value high-quality experiences for our children, of course. And we're proud to let the community know that we've had a two-year period where we've been engaged in an authorization process, and just recently we were authorized to become an IB World School. Westbury High School will begin offering International Baccalaureate program classes in the fall. And we're excited because we will join a cohort of only 11 other schools on Long Island. We'll join a group of global partners in education around the world in 157 countries and territories. Additionally, well, Dr. Bloom is going to speak a bit about professional learning communities. I'd just like to segue to our Saturday Wins Academy program. As Dr. Chase often notes, what a wonderful problem we have here in Westbury. We have traffic jams on Saturday because scholars are coming to school on Saturday. And we've been able to fund these wonderful offerings, which are rich in STEAM activities, hands-on activities that involve the sciences, technology, the arts, engineering projects, and engage kids in outdoor activities, field studies, all in search of wonderful STEAM learning. Additionally, I just also want to note, too, that the STEAM education that we provide during our school hours on Saturdays will continue into the summer with our Future Makers program. More about that later. But that program has also been reimagined into a focused STEAM experience, extended experience, interdisciplinary experience. Running down the list, we are also, one of the things that we're, of course, proud of is we talk about, our hashtag is One Westbury, Westbury Love is Real Love, and one of our initiatives that's near and dear to all of our hearts is something known as the STRIVE program. We've had a very successful STRIVE program existing in our middle school. Now we're expanding down and up. We're going to offer the STRIVE program in the elementary level as well as on the high school level. And what STRIVE is, the acronym stands for Scholars That Reach Independent Vocational Excellence. So we had been sending our babies who are growing up here in Westbury to other facilities, not on our campuses, not in our schools, to receive like services, but we're proud to say that we're bringing our students back, our children back, and welcoming back to their neighborhood schools in these wonderful programs.
We will continue our efforts with social-emotional learning, social-emotional support, not just for our scholars, but also for our educators in the school district and families. We have identified individuals at each building who will serve as a liaison, if you will, for social-emotional support. Just a couple of weeks from now, May 23rd is our social-emotional day. It's a day where we pause to engage in practices that will address our social-emotional needs, both for scholars and the adults in our school district. And we will continue our social-emotional initiatives in the 2024-2025 school year. I'd like to give Roger Bloom, our Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Roger Bloom, our Assistant Superintendent for Personnel, an opportunity to talk about what we are doing with the PLC and how we will become a model school.
Thank you, Dr. Chase. Good evening.
Good evening.
Last year, the Westbury Union Free School District embarked on the journey of professional learning communities. Professional learning communities is a process by which teachers work collaboratively on almost a daily basis in the process of collective inquiry and job-embedded professional development to work to improve student achievement and improve instructional practice. These meetings occur every other day. They are on a schedule that allows for creation of common formative and summative assessments, analysis of data, and then responding to students if they don't learn, if they do learn, and if they need further enrichment. This is a wonderful process to dig deep into data on almost a daily basis to look at ways to improve accountability and improved achievement with our students. Last year, we attended a Solution Tree Summit, which is at the heart of professional learning communities, and learned about a wonderful program called the PLC Model Schools Community at Work Program. This was an application that school districts can apply to Solution Tree to achieve a 3-year process of candidacy to achieve an extremely highly prestigious model school status. Right now, there are only a few schools in New York State that are in the candidacy phase, and that includes the Westbury Union Free School District. This year was year 1, and next year's budget will include year 2. From when we reach year 3, apply for that Model Schools Community at Work status, and hopefully at that point, we're going to be celebrating the Westbury Union Free School District achieving a certification status and a prestigious status that only a few school districts in New York State may achieve. So we are looking forward to continuing this wonderful initiative, and we thank you all for your support. Thank you.
Speaking of celebration, I think we can celebrate the fact that we are presenting a budget to the community at a 0% tax levy where we have maintained all of our programs. We're still going to maintain our math program, our literacy program, our sciences. Our science specialists will remain in place. And as you know, we have science specialists at at our kindergarten school, which is Dryden Street School. So we will continue in all of those efforts in the 2024-2025 school year. So let's talk about facilities.
Thank you, Dr. Chase. I know we said that we are continuing our commitment to enhancing facilities. So one of the things that we wanted to go over briefly are some of the things that we've done this year with the support of the community and the board. This year, we've put blue lights and PAs at all of the elementary schools. We have a new camera system in progress district-wide. We also have security vestibules that are being designed, and I believe the goal, Mr. Stein, is to begin construction next year? To begin construction next year on our security vestibules. This current year budget includes blue lights for emergency notification for our high school and our middle school. We're going to remove oil tanks at the middle school, high school, and Drexel. And it means a playground at Powell's. I know Drexel received a playground this year, and Powell's is set to receive one next year. We have some bathroom renovations, and we have watch fire displays at all of our buildings. And on top of that, we also have $1.8 million designated for future capital projects. Those projects can include heating, plumbing, electrical, and will depend on the finalization of our 5-year plan.
And so we just want to bring to the community's attention this beautiful turf field. We thank the community for the turf field, and I also want to share with you, hello, Mr. President, and I also want to share with you that our turf field was actually in a national competition. And we competed against school districts from, high schools all over the country. Guess who came in number 1? Westbury. So community, we thank you. We thank you for this beautiful turf field.
So our overall financial plan. Our overall financial plans, as we mentioned, our budget-to-budget increase is 1.1%. It includes all of the great things that Dr. Chase and our administrative team spoke about earlier, as well as a few other things. Our school taxes, as you can see, is a 0% levy increase, and we'll get into a little bit more of that later, as well as your total overall proposed expenses. Your revenues as a percent of budget, you have 39.3% of that is now your school tax levy, and 51% is your state aid. If we compare that to prior years, you'll notice back in 2021 or 1920, our school tax levy was 51% of our budget. That has now dropped to 39% because of the board's commitment to providing tax relief. Our state aid now is up to 51% of our tax levy. Our summary of expenses, so again, our overall budget increase is 1.1%. It's the lowest budget-to-budget increase since 2021. We were able to maintain all of our programs because we did have some savings in the 24-25 budget. So we did have some retirement savings in the amount of $875,000. We did remove some positions that had not been filled this year, and one of them one was in the business office and one was in Dr. Chase's office. We were very fortunate to have some transportation savings of $312,000. You'll notice you see a decrease in transportation costs. That's not because we are eliminating any transportation. Mr. Popkin was able to review our routes and reduce the number of routes by combining some. Some of our increases happen to be our charter schools. We've seen a 20% enrollment increase in charter schools from 22-23 to the 23-24 school year. We also have in this budget a 3-year replacement, Chromebook replacement plan for our students. Our bottom line budget increase is $2.2 million, and we've added a lot of things to the budget. But what really helped us this year is, if you recall, last year we had a high-impact tutoring set aside of about $2.3 million that the governor had listed in her budget. And since we didn't know what it was, we put it in a line item. That never materialized, so we were able to reduce that out of the budget this year. We're still able, you'll see interfund transfers decreasing, but we're still able to maintain 1.8 of that to fund future capital projects. As a percentage of the budget, as expected, salary and benefits is 64.8% of the budget, and the next highest one is BOCES, which is 12.1%. What you'll notice when you look line by line in our budget, you're going to see some shift from contractual costs into the BOCES line. You're going to see a shift from equipment into a BOCES line. And the whole purpose of doing that is so that we can generate aid in the following year. Dr. Chase, would you like to speak about enrollment?
Yeah. So it's no surprise that enrollment is declining all over the country, in public school enrollment. There are a number of reasons why that is the case. Quite recently, there was a study that was released indicating that families are not having children like they used to for a variety of reasons. Westbury is also seeing a decline in enrollment, but although we are seeing a decline in enrollment, there is not a decline in our ability to educate our kids. There is not a decline in our enthusiasm. There is not a decline in our quest to make sure that our scholars have the best opportunities there are. But the declining enrollment does, in fact, require us to look at things differently. It requires us to examine what we have, what we may not need any longer, and reimagine how we distribute resources.
So as mentioned previously, we did have retirements that resulted in staff savings of $872,000. And you can see the enrollment for charter schools has increased 60% since 2021, and at the same time, it's increased 8.3% in the tuition costs.
So I do want to speak about retirement, and I just want to be super clear to our community. When we receive retirements, we had to take a hard look at whether those individuals who retired need to be replaced. And that was really working in tandem with our building principals and looking at our enrollment through technology department, and as a team, making a determination if certain positions should be filled, or because of our declining enrollment, do we even actually need those positions? Can we reimagine, how we deliver instruction to our scholars without taking away from the quality of instruction? So I want to be clear. Just because we have 6 retirements do not mean that we're going to have 6 openings. We may not need those openings, and I think that we did a magnificent job in identifying where our needs are and where there could be something that's unnecessary. We want to be able to use taxpayer dollars effectively and efficiently and not have waste.
Yeah,
I think that was mine before. So what happens if the budget is defeated on May 21st? And while we don't want to have those courageous conversations about what will happen, it is important that our community is aware. So if the budget is defeated, we will have two options. First option, we can resubmit the same proposal, or we can revise one for a vote, or we can adopt a contingent budget. That depends on the direction in which the Board of Education would like to go. So if residents vote down the budget a second time, the district must adopt a contingent budget. And a district that adopts a contingent budget would have to levy the same amount of taxes in the current year or less. But keep in mind that the budget that is being presented to you this evening and the budget that you will be voting on May 21st is a budget that reflects a 0% tax levy increase. Okay, so this child clapped, and I'm just trying to understand why no one else is clapping. If this child clapped, I can't understand why no one else is clapping for a 0% levy increase. Thank you. You know, I appreciate you for that. So how does a contingent budget impact our schools? And this is really important to know. By adopting a contingent budget, this prohibits the district from spending any money in certain areas. This includes community use of our school facilities. I know that our facility use requests has increased exponentially since we've enhanced our facilities and we have the new turf field. We've done some work with the pool and the like. I know that there have been many requests, but there will be some changes in terms of how the community use our facilities. New equipment purchases, non-essential maintenance, that includes painting, right? And other things that may not necessarily be necessary. Capital expenditures, except for emergency, and I think we talked about some fantastic projects that are coming up. Salary increases for non-instructional, non-unionized employees, and certain field trips and student supplies. It will take away from our scholars.
Dr. Chase, we have a question.
Okay, but there's more, right? Okay, so what are our next steps? So our next steps, we have a full audience here, but we do know that there are people who are watching at home because we see them putting comments in the chat, and please know that we welcome your comments in the chat. Hearing, you might think of a question, or maybe in your community there's a conversation that may have been sparked and you might want to clarify something that you heard this evening, or maybe something that you saw online. Please do not hesitate to reach out to us at budget@westburyschools.org. Again, budget@westburyschools.org. We will answer your question right away. And what we are doing is we're actually creating an FAQ list, and you will see your question and you'll see your answers in case someone else may have a similar question. Please check our website for more budget information and also information about voting. And don't forget, please exercise your right to vote on May 21st.
So these are two questions.
I
I know, I can barely read it.
All right, I'm going to do my best. All right, so we do have questions from the audience, and we also have a comment. Cynthia Mitchell, hello, Cynthia Mitchell. Cynthia Mitchell offers congratulations to the IB program. Thank you so much. It looks like Katrina Partis has a question. And her I'm sorry? Is that what that says? Okay, Katiana. I apologize, Ms. Katiana. Katiana's question is, what budget line does the renovations in the middle school fall? Loving all the updates and changes. We do too. I want to continue to see updates happening. Well, that can only happen. All right, and Katiana also says, are the asylum scholars who are enrolling at our schools counted in the lower enrollment numbers? So I just want to clarify, we don't distinguish any type of scholars. All of the scholars are our scholars, and they're all counted as part of our enrollment. Do you want to answer the budget question?
All of the renovation work at the middle school was done by the bond project, so you will not see that in a line item in the budget.
All right. Are there any other questions on the chat? Community, please feel free. This is your opportunity to ask us questions. We welcome them. And we thank you for watching the budget hearing. It's a beautiful evening, and you could be doing anything else. We appreciate your support in watching this and learning more about the budget. And we're hoping that you will spread the word to your neighbors and throughout the community, the importance of voting on May 21st, and also having an understanding of what you're voting for. Are there any questions in the chat? Please let me know. Nothing else? Nothing else. Okay, if there is nothing else, I will pass the meeting back to our illustrious Board of Education. And I want to thank the cabinet, my administrative cabinet, for their time to share with the community our 2024-2025 proposed budget. I also would like to thank the Budget Committee, who worked really hard, made up of community members and staff, for their diligence, and our school administrators, whether it's building level or central office, for helping us to put this budget together. I think this is probably one of the best budgets that I've seen in my 10-year career, so thank you. I also would be remiss if I did not thank the Board of Education for always supporting our initiatives, for standing side by side with us as we bring new and innovative initiatives into the school district, especially our STEAM, our STRIVE, our IB, our PLC, all of our literacy initiatives as well. This would not be done without their unwavering support. They have been amazing since the day I walked into this district and even up until this moment. So I'm very much so appreciative of that effort. Anybody else? Questions? Okay.
Dr. Chase and Cabinet, we thank you for your time and attention to the budget. We as a board are very proud of the budget we presented. We've done a yeoman's job over the past 3 years of being very clear and intentional on representing the taxpayers and being concerned about their issues while maintaining the integrity of our academic programs as well as our facilities. So we are proud of the work we have done. We're proud of this budget. We just ask that you vote on your conscience on May 21st. And thank you again for the cabinet, for the administrators, for the teachers, all those who participated in the budget, as well as our fellow board members. Thank you, community, for this opportunity for us to serve you and present this budget to you. Thank you, and hope to see you in large numbers on May 21st. Thank you.